Well, hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Today is actually July 13th. Don't blink, because July will be over before you know it. But I am glad you're joining me today. My name is Colleen Magnus, and today you are creating with Colleen. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator on the East Coast of Chesapeake, and I come to you live every Wednesday at noontime to just share some creativity. So you are all so awesome out there, and I know you'll be popping on in just a minute. But today, I am going to share with you a wonderful Sale-a-Bration stamp set and dies that you can get for free. It is called the Hippest Hippos and Hippo dies. So these are two cards. This one here, a dear friend Lenore Whitehead made, and it's absolutely adorable. She put a little vellum behind the banner. This little guy is splish splashing in his tub. And then what I'm going to create for you today is this card here. And I'm going to show you how to make this beach scenery, which you could really use for just about anything. And then also we're going to create with this little hippo. So with that, let me start telling you about this stamp set. Right now during Sale-a-Bration, Stampin' Up! Has for 2 months, for July and August, it is called Sale-a-Bration. And these are products that you can only get free. How awesome is that? But you do have to place that minimum order. So you get it free with your order. So for every $50 that you spend, you can get a level 1 or level 2 stamp set. So this is on page 4 and 5. These are the Hippest Hippos and the Hippo dies, and they are adorable. If you need any inspiration, Pinterest is filled with tons of cards. And again, I hope to share a little bit of that with you today. So hey, Sandy, hey, Patty, hope you gals are doing well. I'm also in this card, I am pairing it with a stamp set and dies. This actually, this bundle, it's no longer a bundle, you have to buy them separate, but it was in our last catalog, the January through June mini catalog, and I am so thankful that it carried over. So this here is Paradise Palms, and I love it. As you can see, anytime you see the image is shaded, that means it has a die that coordinates to cut it out. But I like that it's birthday. I love that it says retirement wishes. We never see enough of things for retirement. Thankfully, people still get to do that. You know, my husband hopefully will a year from now. But hope you find a little paradise wherever you may be. That is always perfect. And wishing you a warm and beachy kind of day. Hello, Miss Edith. How are you? So this is the actual stamp set that I showed you in the catalog. You can see how nice it is, nice and beachy. And then these are the dies. So you can cut out this wonderful palm tree. You can cut out these stamps that you have in here. You have some nice reeds, some grass, and I love this border. I don't know if you can see that. This border is absolutely beautiful and can go on any card, whether it's a beach theme or not. And then, just to touch base, the Hippest Hippos, absolutely adorable. They always come out with some really cute critters during Sale-a-Bration. And please keep in mind, Sale-a-Bration is only for July and August, and these supplies are only while supplies last. We actually have soft sea foam and pool party cards that are like on low inventory. They're actually out, but they think they can get more of those. But you're not going to get more of the stamp sets and the dies or the designer paper. They have a limited amount, so please, if these are some items you want, please don't wait to order. You snooze, you lose. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but it's really true. And if you'd like to place a order, you can go to my creatingwithcolleen.com blog, and you can use this host code here for July. And the host code is if your order is less than $150. Put that host code in. If not, at $150, you're going to start earning some awesome benefits. Oh, Sandy said she had to get the hippos because her granddaughter loved them in the brochure. Sandy, I think they're absolutely adorable, and I have to agree. So Barb and Tracy and Sharon, thanks for joining us. We're going to have some fun today. And the reason these hippos are so much fun is look at these dies. So you have a die that cuts out each one of the shapes. But then you have a little boat, you have a snorkel, you have water. This here is great for mountains or for water. And what I like about this one, you have the scallop on the top and these little wave lines, but it doesn't cut below. So you can make that as thick as you want with that top piece. But we have snorkeling gear, goggles and umbrellas and a little tub, a boat, a little life ring, flowers. Cute, cute, cute. But again, only while we're in celebration. So before we get started, let me though congratulate Joanne Brady. Last week I shared the Wonderful World stamp set and the designer series paper. And I showed, this was my inspiration. We had a Creativity Now event with Stampin' Up, and we had to pre-cut our paper, so I had no idea what I was making. But then that was my inspiration for this card, and then the designer paper is gorgeous. There again, the Wonderful World celebration. It's only during celebration, but with the minimum $100 order on page 14 and 15, you can get the stamp set and the coordinating designer series paper. So Joanne liked card B. So Joanne, this is going to be in the mail. I already got the envelope and everything addressed. This will go in there as soon as my Facebook Live is over, and congratulations. So y'all remember, this is a card I'm creating this week. Those who like my page, share my page, and I thought it would be nice if you even went over to my Creating with Colleen YouTube page and subscribed. I put all my videos there, and I just love your support. You really need that when you're trying to build a business online. Come back and leave a comment and tell me that you did it, and then your name will go into the drawing to receive this little card for next week. So let me tell you the sizes of what we're going to use here. And I already took the picture, so I will post it on my Facebook page afterwards. But you need a 11, let me take this off for a minute, 11 by 4 1/4 inch piece of basic white cardstock, and you're going to score that at 5 1/2. Then you are going to need a piece of basic white cardstock that is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. This beautiful polished pink, this here is an in color, and you're going to want to cut that 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Then you just need a piece of copy paper, just copy paper like you would print on. So that is 3 7/8 by 2 1/4, and I'll show you. They were going to use that to make our background. Thank you, Kay. She loves my card. Thanks, Kay. Then you're going to use a stinking cute little hippo. I've already cut her and die cutted her. And then you have a bunch of little parts from the dies. So I'm not going to go through each one. You'll see them as I create. But again, I always take a picture of the measurements and what I'm using, as far as the dies go. And as soon as we finish our Facebook Live, I will post that on our Facebook page too, so you can go back and create. So what we're going to do is we are going to actually start with, let me get some room here, start creating this background. So that's where I'm using the 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 basic white. Thanks, Miss Becky. I tell you, it's easy to make an adorable card when you're starting out with these hippos. They are adorable. So when you create a beach background, you need to create this horizon. And the horizon really always needs to be straight. If it's kind of angled, well, you wonder if, you're tipsy on the boat or what's going on. But you want this here to be straight, and it needs to be aligned. Down here, your sand and your water can blend. No worries at all. It looks great. But you want a distinct line between your sky and your water. So to me, the easiest way to do that is to just take my copy paper. I'll even turn it over here. Well, actually, no, I won't. I don't want to rub the ink, but I think I'll be fine. And just put it exactly on the top. If you are straight across the top, you're going to be straight here. So I'm going to take that, and then I'm using our blending brushes, which are awesome for doing any of this work. And I'm going to take Balmy Blue. So again, making sure that I'm straight, I'm going to hold it on here. I'm going to do the water first. So I take this, and whenever you're using your brushes, you really want to, you can get your ink on here, start light. If not, you really can make like a little streak. But if you just start very light, I like to hold the head of the brush And then once you get going, you can go a little bit harder because all that color has already been blended in. It's not going to leave any marks from the brush itself. So start very light, like you're barely touching the paper. And I did this with some stampers this month, and they were saying, oh my gosh, they said, you know, I need practice at this. It is practice. I mean, really, it's not that it's hard. Certainly isn't hard. But just like watercoloring, blending, anything, you're going to get better with practice. So no worries. So there I have my water. Now for the sky, I actually took, and I stuck it here so I wouldn't lose it. Here it is. I just took a 1 1/4 inch circle and just put a little bit of adhesive on the back, and we're going to do some masking. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating this sun. So I put this here, and you want to now mask this. Now when you think about it, it makes sense to go ahead and put the blue there. No, it won't make a difference. It can, because our inks that we're using are a water-based ink. So since it's a water-based ink, the more you rub, it can kind of activate that blue and bleed into your yellow. So just use the clean edge. So I'm going to start with a little bit of pumpkin pie. And by the way, that was experience talking. I've had my colors bleed together a little bit before. Not real happy about it, but what you going to do? So I'm just going to put it on here. And since there's a slight edge to the paper, if you can see that, I'm just ever so slightly underneath it. So for my pumpkin pie, now pumpkin pie was kind of dark, so I do tap that off a little bit. You can see the texture. But again, I'm going to start ever so light, and I'm going around my sun because I want to have a little bit of an orange haze around my sun. And really, you're darker than you think when you're doing this. So there I have my pumpkin. Hey, Peggy Bart, how are you doing today? Glad you could be here. So thankful all of you join every week. Does my heart good, because it gets lonely in the stamp room sometimes, so it's great to have y'all with me. Now I'm taking Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to come in here and fill this in. I also want to make sure I get down by the horizon. And I'm just going to come around. And this is going to create my sky. And keep in mind too, even if there are lights and darks, I just think that adds to it. I love it. So here I have my sky. When I pull this off, I've got a very, very bright sun. And actually it looks like the moon last night. The moon was gorgeous last night. Very full moon, it's just bright. Tyler and Joe and I went walking around the block at night, and I told her, I said, you know, when the moon is bright like that, that is God's nightlight. I like to teach her that because it really is. It comes streaming in your blinds. It just doesn't get completely dark outside. It is God's nightlight. So here, I'm just going in with my yellow. And again, I don't have to really worry about, I can even get a little darker on one side, but I don't have to really worry about getting my yellow onto the orange. So now that we've created that, hey Lori, I'm glad you could join me. She said, hey Colleen Magnus, I love y'all popping on. So now I'm going to take my crumb cake. And incidentally, the blending brushes are only $12 for 4 of them. And I just kind of keep one for each color family. Not for every single color, but like this is the one I use on my neutrals. I use this one for all my yellows. This one for my oranges. This one for all my blues. I have one for my greens. So just more or less by color family is what you want to do. So now I'm coming in here with my crumb cake. And I really don't mind even if the crumb cake did get a little scratchy because this is my sand. And I like it. Okay. Now just to add a little bit more texture, Y'all remember years ago, Sandy, I know you remember them, itty bitties. Itty bitties were like little bitty speckles that we had. And it was made just for that, and we absolutely loved it. So the itty bitties that I'm using, since I didn't have it in a set, comes from a stamp set called Forever Fern. And this really is a beautiful stamp set too, and it does have coordinating dies, but I'm going to use those little speckles right there. So again, in the crumb cake, and if you saw, I did stamp off because they can get kind of dark. You don't want too much. I always say it looks like a terrible snowstorm, but you just want to put a little bit of texture and speckle in there. And with that, you have created your beachy scenery. So now from here, we are going to start playing. And actually, let me stamp my words on here first, my happy birthday. Gotta find them first. Here we go. So I have early espresso and happy birthday. And if you see how lightly I stamp, I tap in my pad just on the words, just on the words. A light hand is always best in stamping so you don't catch any edges. And here I have happy birthday. So I saw a couple comments. Let me see here. Let me see. Peggy's here, Lori's here, Becky. We told our daughters that when it was thundering, God was bowling, and when the lightning came, we said God was using his flashlight to find his bowling ball. That is great. I'll have to tell my grandkids that. Yes, Lisa did wear out her itty bitties because she used them so much. We did too. Well, thanks for that inspiration, Becky. I will use that too. So here I have my speckles. And since I've already got everything stamped, I'm just going to go ahead and mount this onto my polished pink. So then I don't have to worry about all my little moving parts that I'm putting on there. There we go. Very cute. I like that. Okay, so here we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my palm tree on first. So these I did cut from the dies, from the Paradise Palms. And I just cut pieces of them here. Happy Wednesday, Diane. Good to see you pop in. So I have my stem, and then I just need the top here of these, the palm branches. So I just trimmed that stem off. So when parts are little, I always find it's best to just use my Tombow liquid glue, because again, I have what? A light hand. It's a must. So I'm going to lay this here, and I can just kind of eye this to see where I want it. If I want it to bend over a little more, I can do that. Go up. So I'll put this down. And then for here, I did pop it up with some dimensionals. Now I don't have a lot of places to put my dimensionals, so I will just put a full one right there. And then even though these are really, really tiny, I'm going to still cut 1 in half and put it on there also. So I'll put that one right underneath it. And then when I pull them off, up, all right, I forgot to do something. Now I could just keep going and y'all wouldn't know the difference, which is probably what I should, but you know what? I am an open book. I am taking this off because what I wanted to do was add a little bit of dimension to it. So I am going to take my garden green and a sponge dauber and just come in here. I think it just softens it up. So this is Granny Apple Green, by the way, and I do like it, but I really just want to bring a little bit more color in here. So it's just not a flat, beautiful, bright green. Okay. So now that I have this, and of course I still have dimensionals on the back. I don't know how sticky they may be. So I will just take a little bit of this. Now they're sticky again. So see, that's a trick. If you got to take something off and your dimensionals are still on there, just give them a little bit of another glue. So there's my tree that I have. Then I'm going to take, we have that cute little rowboat. I want to warm those edges up a little bit. So I'll just come in here with my blending brush, hit my edges, and then I'm going to actually tape down. So here I have my little boat. He's washed ashore. And then you have these cute flowers and these little bitty pieces of greenery. So again, just to soften up, I've got a little more ink on here with my sponge dauber. There we go. And with these, I'm going to put liquid glue because they are so tiny. Joyce just popped on. Thanks, Joyce. She said she has a few minutes before the next client. Glad to see you're using your time wisely. Always good to see you. See your name pop up. So then I have this little one here. And then again, for my flowers, use a little bit of that Tombow liquid glue. Put one there. And I just like how the pink pops. The bright colors. Summertime is definitely bright colors. So that's when we need to use them. And a little bit here. Okay. So I'm going to let those dry, and then I'm going to end up putting some rhinestones on them. Put them here, so hopefully I won't forget. Let that dry. So let me come in here and color our little hippo. I am using the blends, and if you've never used the blends before, they are great. You could also use our watercolor pencils and a blending pen. You can use all kinds of things, but the blends really are nice. I keep it simple. You know, you can really make a career out of coloring. It's absolutely beautiful. But all I do is I just kind of come in and I color. I like to use the broad end, but you have to have a very light hand because you don't want to ruin your tip. So I'm just coming in here and I'm coloring very lightly, the light smoky slate. Come around. And I like this using the broad end because I feel like I can cover a lot of ground in a little bit of time. Just thought about that. I should have grabbed a blue and she could have had blue eyes. Ooh, or green eyes. All right now we're just going to leave them the way they are. So I just kind of came in with the smoky slate. Oh, get the other arm. I know y'all would have kept me straight there. Then I'm going to take the thin end, and incidentally, with our markers and our blends, you see a fat stripe and a thin stripe. That's how you know which end is what. So then for the thin one, I just kind of come in here and I just kind of put some of the dark in where I think a shadow would be. You know, under the arm, under the belly, on this leg, because the belly hangs over, sadly, but true. And then to blend that again, I come back with the thin smoky slate because it's just going to blend into that smoky slate that's already there. But I really like coloring with the blends. Just makes it easier. So I have that. I'm going to come in quickly with a little bit of the light petal pink. Like that. How many of y'all have blends and have tried using them? Put a shout out if you like them. And again, don't make it any tougher than it has to be. It's just a nice marker. It does not leave streaks. And I can kind of pull this around like this. And then just come back and blend between the two colors. Ta-da! Really, really, really that simple. So Diane loves her blends. I do too. I'm going to take the light Calypso Coral because it's summertime. You should always have your nails painted during the summer. My piggies. I keep the polish off in the winter, but you're not going to see these piggies unpainted in the summertime. So Tracy loves her blends, but she doesn't have all the colors. You're going to have to use your watercolor pencils for the hippos. And that is fine. That is absolutely fine because I tell you, Tracy, the pencils are a great way to color too. Should have grabbed another hippo and done a little coloring with that. Maybe we'll do it in the future. Show you a couple tricks with the pencils. But here you have your little hippo, but this hippo is ready, about to get adorable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the little mask on. Thought it was so cool we have this little mask. And again, with the liquid Tombow, it is so strong. You don't need a bunch. Just a little hit here and there. And then I'm going to show you a trick with this mask that I just loved. Doesn't take a lot to amuse me in the stamp room. And I just thought this little guy was awesome. So here I have the glasses. But wait. I thought, how cool would it be to take a window sheet? Because, you know, I mean, having just the rim on, you're going to get water in your eyes when you go swimming. You have to have a little window sheet in there, so they're real goggles. And the glue I'm going to use is so simple. I just put a small dot of the liquid glue in the middle. I pop in my window sheet, so these are going to be nice and glossy. And then you push down. And when you push down, look at this. You don't even see the glue. I'm going to look at my computer, see if you can see this. Let me pull them back a little bit. Get a little light on there. Can y'all see? I don't know if you can see. Anyways, it's shiny. It's absolutely adorable. He's got real goggles on now. None of the fake stuff. Then I'm going to take his little snorkel. And again, I don't have to put it all the way up because that kind of sticks off the edge. But just a little bit. Put it right here. And I have got a hippo who is ready to hit the beach. So for the hippo, I am going to put on with some dimensionals. I grab a couple big dimensionals. Yes, Sandy said the blends really make her coloring look good. She feels like even though she's not a good coloring, they do help me too, Sandy. You don't have to be perfect at it, that's for sure. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. So I have this here. Yes, it shines at certain angles. Thank you, Diane. When you see it in person, you can really tell that he has them on, and it's adorable. You would have thought I invented sliced bread when I did that. I just loved it. It's the little things in life, you know? There we go. So then I have my rhinestones. So this part is done. So let's go ahead and work on this in the middle. So on the inside, of course, I want to utilize that Paradise Palms. So we're going to stamp our inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take crumb cake. And I'm going to cheat. No, I didn't put it on here at first. Don't you, you know, you always say you have to love stamping because you get two sides. You have two sides of the paper, so you have two chances to get it right. And if it's not quite right, you just pick the lesser of the evils. But here's what's cool. Say if I messed this part up, like I was stamping the inside, and I messed this up, I could just leave that, put this on top, open it up, and I've got another chance. I like safe stamping, so that's what I'm going to do. That's why I didn't attach that yet. So here I'm just going to take my sand. See, there's a little mark there. Let me go this side. And I will put down my crumb cake. Now, I've been doing this a lot. Y'all see how I have colored the stamps themselves. Reason being, I definitely want two-tone. I want to get different colors. So take your regular markers. These are the Marvelous markers. Same concept, thick line, thin line. And you want to go ahead and just use the side of that to color the rubber. The blends will not work because they are alcohol markers and it will dry too quick. But these markers are just like our inks. It's a water-based marker. So using this side, that there was Early Espresso. And then here I'm using the Green Apple Green. So this way I get two different colors on my stamps. Don't worry about it drying because you're going to huff it. Not blow on it, but huff it because your breath will moisten that ink and bring it right back to life. So I'll put that down. There I have my palm trees. And we are going to bring it home with that wonderful saying, hope you find a little paradise wherever you may be. And I hope that for each and every one of you. I think everybody's paradise can look different. You know, mine a lot of times is being at home with my family and just hanging out. Some people like to be at the beach. Danny and I do like to travel. I got to tell you that really is our paradise when we get away from home because he works a lot. He finds joy in working just like I do. And the only time we really don't work is when we travel. And so we don't mind getting away from the house from time to time. Okay. So the only other thing I might do is, and I could have done this before I stamped, this is a water-based ink, so you have to be careful, but I wanted a little Wink of Stella on my sun. So just don't hit your words because I don't want to smear that beautiful Early Espresso. But if I put a little bit here, I've got a nice shiny sun, and you could also do your water too if you wanted to. You know what? Why not? So here I'm doing a little bit of water. Yeah, I like that. Just makes it look, especially when you kind of go like this and it's wavy. So hard to see from where you are. But this is our next card giveaway for this this week. Let me see. I was looking at my comments. There we go. Now we can see a lot better. You can see it. So I hope you like it. I hope you love these sweet little Hippest Hippos, happiest hippos. Mine are hip, but they're all happy. If you would like to purchase them, remember, Sale-a-Bration, only while supplies last. But you can pick an item out of here, an exclusive Sale-a-Bration item for every $50 that you spend. So for this little guy, for a minimum $50 order, you can get the stamp set. And for another minimum $50 order, you will get your dies. And you will have hours upon hours of fun creating. So I just want to thank you all for being here today. It's going to be a good week. It's going to be a good week. We're going to the lake in a couple of weeks, and I am gearing up and starting to pack away items and paper plates and food. And we carry so much to the lake, it's crazy. I have to start 3 weeks early. So anyways, thanks again. If you would like to order anything, you can do that on my blog, creatingwithcolleen.com. And if you don't already get my newsletter, please go there and subscribe so I can keep in touch and send you a lot of creativity and all of the specials. So thank you for joining me, Becky. I'm more than happy to share. I've been a demonstrator for over 20 years, and I really love it just as much today as I did back then. Thank you, Kay. All of you have a wonderful week. May God bless you, and I will see you next Wednesday. Oh my goodness, it's going to be the 20th. But I will see you then at noontime so we can create some more together. If there's ever anything I can do for you, please let me know. Thank you so much and enjoy the day. Bye-bye.